Max Verstappen is widely known for his dominance in Formula One, but away from the world of single-seaters, he has begun writing another chapter of his career in GT3 racing. And this is not just a hobby or a PR move, it is something that is becoming a concrete part of his motorsport life. In 2025, Verstappen announced that his structure, Verstappen.com Racing, would officially expand into GT3 competitions, building a proper program that goes beyond his role in Formula One. The team entered the GT World Challenge Europe with an Aston Martin Vantage GT3 Evo in collaboration with 2Cs Motorsport, focusing on the Gold Cup category. Drivers such as Thierry Vermeulen, who has been closely connected to Verstappen through Red Bull's ecosystem, and Chris Lullum, a sim racer turned real racer, are part of this project, showing that Verstappen is seriously investing in talent and in building a pipeline between esports, professional simulation, and real racing. But Verstappen himself wanted to get behind the wheel of a GT3 car, and he took the step to gain the necessary GT3 permit at the Nurburgring Nordschleife, one of the most demanding circuits in the world. To get that permit, he first had to run in GT4 machinery, driving a Porsche Cayman GT4 to adapt to the very different philosophy of these cars compared to an F1 machine. Once the permit was secured, Verstappen made his official GT3 debut in the Nürburgring Langstrecken Series, a 4-hour endurance race format. For this debut, he joined Emil Frey Racing and drove the Ferrari 296 GT3 alongside Chris Lullum. The Ferrari 296 GT3 is a heavy, less aerodynamic car compared to an F1 single-seater, and it demands an extremely precise and patient driving style, especially on the Nordschleife with its 170 corners, traffic from multiple classes, and constantly changing track conditions. What makes this debut fascinating is that Verstappen did not just show up, he actually prepared extensively, including private tests under the pseudonym Franz Hermann to avoid unnecessary media attention. During these tests, he reportedly managed very competitive lap times, even setting a GT3 record at the Nordschleife, something that underlines his adaptability. Many F1 drivers struggle when moving into GT or endurance cars because the handling philosophy is completely different. Less downforce means you cannot throw the car into corners the way you do in Formula One. The braking points are longer, and the car moves around a lot more on the edge of grip. Verstappen's ability to quickly master this environment shows not only his talent, but also his determination to take GT racing seriously. It is also important to highlight that endurance racing is not about pure speed over a single lap, but about consistency, traffic management, tire conservation, and teamwork. Verstappen has had to share the Ferrari 296 GT3 with teammates, adapting his setup preferences and understanding how to compromise for a car that must be driven by multiple drivers over several hours. This is a different kind of discipline from the F1 world, and yet Verstappen has approached it with the same intensity and professionalism that he shows on a Grand Prix weekend. The vision of Verstappen.com Racing also deserves a spotlight. By supporting drivers like Chris Lullum, who comes directly from sim racing, Verstappen is trying to prove that the skills learned in esports and advanced simulators can genuinely translate into success in real-life GT3 competition. This is more than just a vanity project, it is a strategic move to shape the future of racing development. Verstappen himself has always been very active in sim racing, competing in major online endurance events such as the virtual Le Mans 24 Hours, and this philosophy of combining the digital and the real is becoming part of his DNA as a team owner and driver. Looking at the technical side, Verstappen's debut with the Ferrari 296 GT3 at the Nordschleife involved adapting to a car that weighs over 1,200 kilograms compared to around 800 kilograms for an F1 car, produces significantly less downforce, and runs on tires designed for durability rather than ultimate grip. The Ferrari GT3 also features ABS and traction control systems, which are forbidden in Formula One, meaning Verstappen had to recalibrate his braking style and throttle inputs. Instead of modulating purely by feel, he had to learn how to work with the electronic aids, exploiting them to find the limit without overheating the tires or upsetting the balance. These are subtle differences, but they change the rhythm of driving completely. In corners like Flugplatz or the Carousel, The line choice and the way you load the car on entry are totally different from the way he would approach in a Red Bull F1 car. The fact that Verstappen was immediately competitive shows his versatility. What lies ahead is just as exciting. Verstappen has been very clear that his dream is to compete one day in the 24 Hours of Nurburgring, one of the most iconic endurance races in the world. And many insiders believe that this debut is the first real step towards that goal. By putting himself through the permit system, racing in NLS and developing a GT3 program through his own team, Verstappen is building the foundation to become a serious contender in endurance racing once his Formula One career either slows down or eventually comes to an end. There is also speculation that he could target appearances at the 24 Hours of Spa or even future Le Mans GT3 entries once regulations allow. In the end, Verstappen's GT3 adventure so far tells us three things. First, he is not satisfied with being just a Formula One driver. He wants to explore the full spectrum of motorsport. Second, he has the technical adaptability and mindset to take on a completely different discipline and be competitive from the start. And third, he is building something bigger with Verstappen.com Racing, creating a pathway that links sim racing, young talent, and professional GT racing. The chapter of Verstappen in GT3 has only just begun, but from what we have already seen at the Nurburgring and through his team's expansion, it promises to be a major part of his legacy as one of the most complete drivers of his generation.